Hello and welcome everyone. This is Michelle. I'm glad you could stop by and spend a little bit of time with me today as I craft. I love to share inspirational projects with you, and I hope that you enjoy them as well. If you do, make sure you hit that red subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and let me know that you enjoy the projects. If you ring the bell, you won't miss out on any future tutorials. We're going to go ahead and start on this beautiful card, this fun Christmas card, using the Cup of Christmas stamp set and the coordinating die set. And we're also going to play with this beautiful shimmer white Stampin' Emboss powder. So let's get talking about our papers and our measurements. Now, if you don't get these, don't worry. I will have them over on my blog, and I'll put a link to that in the description of the video. So just enjoy the card and don't worry about having to hastily write down all of those measurements. So I'm starting with a piece of real red card base. It's the standard card base, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Because this is a darker color, I do also have a panel for the inside that is 4 by 5 1/4. I then have a piece of Coastal Cabana. Now I came up with, I would never think to put the Coastal Cabana and the Real Red together, but I came up with this because I'm using the new Let It Snow DSP, and it's got those colors in there, as well as the Blueberry Bushel we're going to bring in. So I love Stampin' Up! Helps us to experience new color combinations that maybe we wouldn't have thought of. And of course, all of the DSP comes with a list of the coordinating colors, so you're not left guessing. So this Coastal Cabana piece, this is 4 by 5 1/4, and I used this new embossing folder, and I am blanking on the name of it. I'll make sure to put that on the screen when I post this video, but it's actually in the Halloween section of the holiday catalog. And I think that it's just a beautiful pattern for any season. So don't forget to check out all of the sections. Don't skip them over if maybe you don't celebrate Halloween or you're not really into Thanksgiving. You can always find things in those sections that you can use year-round as well. So make sure you give them a look. So for the piece of DSP, I'm using a piece that is 3 by 4. This is a great size to get a lot out of your designer series paper. With a cut of 3 by 4, I can get 12 pieces from one sheet of designer series paper. So if you're mass producing, that's a great way to go. And then I've got this Blueberry Bushel, and it is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So we're just going to get a very thin mat around there. I have this new acetate piece, and this is the Mercury acetate, and this is so much fun. Look at just the detail and the pattern on that, and the shimmer. So this does come with a protective piece. You'll want to take that off, and it can be a little tricky to find the edge. Once you find that edge though, it peels off really easily, but it just keeps it from getting scratched during transport. I've cut that with a 2 1/4 inch hole punch. And then I have die cut this cup out using the die set. Let's go ahead and pull that out so you can see all of the pieces in here. So we have 2 mugs, so you can die cut them with a handle on either side. And the reason we have that is this stamp set, this Cup of Christmas Cheer, is very unique. It's actually a 2-sided stamp. So each of these mug pieces you can stamp on either side. So you've got your polka dots that go all the way through the hole, so you can stamp it on either side and get a reverse image. So it's really fun if you're going to be having 2 mugs, say, facing each other, like, you know, you're sharing a mug of coffee or hot cocoa with a friend. So this is really fun that we have those reversible pieces in there. And then we've got some great sentiments in here as well. I'm going to be using the Comfort and Joy sentiment for the card. With these dies, you also get these different overlay pieces. So we've got this poinsettia overlay, and we've got the stripe pattern that you can use to create a layer on top of a base color. These cute little tags. They look just to me like the little tags at the end of a tea bag. We've got some holly, and then we've got these two candy canes that don't have a matching stamp, but you can die cut one color in the base and then another color in the stripe pattern to overlay. So that's a lot of fun. And then we've got some other cute little sprigs and a little bow. And then this cuts out the outline of the poinsettia and then some berries to go with our little pieces of holly. So really nice die set. And I think this is one that you can use not just at Christmas. You're going to be able to use this a lot. You know, who doesn't like the comfort and joy or cup of cheer, sending you a cup of cheer. You can always mask off these little holly berries to make it less Christmassy. And then of course we've got things like enjoy and yum. Hey, those work all year round, right? So let's go ahead and start assembling this card. Let's start with assembling the inside of this card and our panels, and then we'll do all of our stamping at the end. I'm using my favorite adhesive, which is the liquid adhesive, the Monomolte Tombow glue, and I'm gonna just put that down in there. We're gonna put this beautiful pattern. Now you could use this side that's indented, or you can use the ray side. I prefer the ray side, but you guys can always take your pick with these embossing folders and use whatever side is your favorite. Now, as we're talking about this fun Let It Snow DSP, I want to remind you that through the end of September, if you're watching this in September of 2019, we do have our Designer Series paper sale. It is on the annual catalog Designer Series paper, but you can buy 3 and get 1 free. I'm just going to mat that just like that. I like that little bit of color. It helps to really make this panel pop off of our embossed piece, and I am going to center that right on the front of the card. This isn't really a directional Designer Series paper, so you could put it either way. I think that one looks like it's right side up, but again, I think it really doesn't matter on that. Now, usually with an acetate or something that has some clarity like this, I'm going to be concerned about adhesive on the back and whether that's going to show through, but we know that we're going to be putting a mug over that, so I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to put that in. This is rather slick, so it's going to slide around a little bit. Good reason to go ahead and get that done and get it off to the side so we can make sure that it dries and sets before we put our mug on. So how quick and easy is that? Now we're just down to stamping our mug. And remember, when you are using embossing powder, you want to use your embossing buddy. That's just going to keep any of the oils from your skin from sticking on that paper and making the embossing powder stick to that as well. I'm going to use my Versamark ink and come in here, and I'm going to center that up, put down my Comfort and Joy. Let's cover this up because trust me, that gets to be a mess if you happen to get your embossing powder over the top of that. It does not want to come off, so always take a moment and cover that up. I like to use coffee filters to hold my extra embossing powder, and so I just kind of dump it on there, flick off any little extra pieces that may be still stuck, and that looks beautiful just the way it is, but we're going to make sure we heat set that so that it's going to really pop and it's going to stay on there and not wipe off. I'm going to bring in my heating tool. This is going to get a little bit noisy, so I'm going to try and speak up here. When you're using this embossing heating gun, you just want to make sure it warms up a little bit beforehand. I always like to come in from the back and give it a little bit of heat, and then come in from the top. And keep that moving around so that you're not burning your paper. And we're going to see that turn. I don't know if you can see that on the camera very well, how that the R and the T there have turned a little bit more solid. It tells me that is heat set on there. Now you can always use a piece of or a pair of tweezers when you've got something small like this that you're heat embossing, because that heating gun does get very, very warm on the fingers. I'm going to go ahead and give that one little bit of extra there. And it looks like I got a couple of little pieces that I heat set on there, but you know what? I think that just adds some of the fun little bling to that, and we could always cover that up as well if we liked with some rhinestones to give it another little bit of pop. Now I am going to actually do this card flat. You could pop it up on dimensionals, and those of you who've watched me are probably going, I can't believe she's not using dimensionals, but I have a lot of layers on this, and so I thought I would just go ahead and put that down flat at this time. And there we have our Comfort and Joy card using the Cup of Christmas stamp set and coordinating die. I hope that you enjoyed this and you found it inspirational. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that button down below. I'm going to link some other videos that I think you might enjoy, and don't forget that through the end of this month I'm also offering my card kit. You get 8 free card kits when you spend $35 or more in my Stampin' store, and there's information on the blog for that as well. Until we meet again, make sure you grab your paper, stamp, and ink and make something creative.